other. I know they look very similar. So before we begin at this point, I think it's important that we identify who everybody is and who they do not look like. So just in case there's any confusion, I'm going to change my name to not Ed Sheeran. Now, I want everybody now who's on the thing, I want you to take a little moment to think, and I would like you all to change your name to the celebrity that you think that you look the most like, preceded with a not thing. So going through here, Adam, Roger, maybe you guys could change your name. Let's find out which celebrity you look like. Adam, you look very athletic. Maybe you've got a famous bicycler that you could look like.
Yeah, maybe famous athletes, footballers.
Famous athletes, famous actors. Let's go through it. As I say, you guys are all welcome to change your name to anything that you want, but for this point, let's not have anybody have their real name for the next wee while, because we will be going through here. We'll go with Bill down here. We'll just say, all right, Bill, I assume Bill is from Bill and Ted's fame. We'll have a look through a couple of the people.
Do you have recommendation for me, Jamie? Like,
well, I mean, just looking at you,
like?
I don't know which you've got Queen as your background. So I think which member of Queen do you think that you're most like? I'm not thinking Eddie Mercury from it. You don't have the mustache.
Yeah, I know.
But maybe another one.
But I'm on Freddie's position right now. So
okay, well, if you want to be Freddie Mercury, be Freddie Mercury.
But you don't look like Freddie Mercury, Steve.
Well, I can give you a little secret hint at this point. If you go into video filters, you can put a mustache on yourself, thereby turning yourself into Freddie Mercury, if you so desire. Okay, so, not a celebrity. Really? Nice. Let's have a look through what other people have changed them to. Welcome in, guys. So change your name to the celebrity of your choosing. We'll begin shortly.
So if you feel like...
I like this one over here. Hello, not Adele. That's a nice one. Are you sure you're not Adele? You look a little bit like Adele. Very handsome lady. We'll give people a little chance to do that. Not Zendaya. I believe you, and I like your picture of the back. I like your image at this point. Not Queen Diana. Very nice. Not Kelly. Okay. Is that our Kelly or another Kelly? Not Nika. Oh. Although it's difficult to tell with the picture there. Okay, now that we're starting to get people to change their name,
yeah,
I think let's begin by just starting the thing. Can I confirm, are we live at this point yet?
Yes.
Or can we go live?
Yeah, we are live right now.
Right, let's move on. And so, as we can see from these two videos, I am not Ed Sheeran. Today, we're going to be covering cover letters. Cover letters are probably the rarest form of application form, but they're still very important. You are most likely to use them when you are applying to higher up positions, or if you're applying to a university abroad. Now, the pattern for those two things are the same. So if you plan to do a master's, this will also be useful, as well as applying for a job. I'm really sorry, guys, but you will be needing to do some writing during this session. So make sure that you have a Word file open, or if you want, you can have pen and paper here, but you will be needing to type. So please be aware of that. So to begin with, I think it's important that everybody always practices the most vital skill when applying for a job, which is being able to introduce yourself to someone else. So what we're going to do at this point is we're going to be putting you guys into breakout rooms. We're not going to be here. Myself and not Freddie Mercury are going to have a chat about things for the YouTube audience. But for the rest of you, when you're in the breakout rooms, I want you to tell each other your real name. away from us so that people can't do it. And I want you guys to work together to come up with a group name. And I also want you to decide on one person in the breakout room to be the group leader. And I would also like you guys to explain to other participants why writing in English is difficult for you, yourself in particular.
Yeah, so after this, I think Minchot will help us to create the breakout rooms. So if you guys access this webinar from your phone, there will be a pop-up on your phone that asking you to join the breakout room, and you just need to click join. And I think it's similar with the user experience from the web, right? I think that's it.
Great. So if you wouldn't mind putting people into breakout rooms now, say hi to each other, and we will see you guys in 5 minutes. Just want to say the person who has CCT and is saying not from HRD budget, I appreciate your candor there. So while we're waiting for people to go through into the breakout rooms, we can have a little discussion. So not Freddie Mercury, would you mind telling the audience a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, so hello guys, my name is Stevio. So currently I am head of growth subsidy in one of the big e-commerce in Indonesia. So and today I'll be your moderator for the discussion.
All right, slowly but surely we're getting people coming through. So once everybody goes through, oh no, they weren't supposed to see that. Let's keep that hidden for now. Yeah. While we wait for people to go away. Yes, don't tell anybody.
Don't tell anybody, guys.
Yes, not Gigi Hadea. Please go join your breakout room. This is going to be secret information. We will see you in 5 minutes. Great.
Not Gigi Hadid and Anin.
Mm-hmm.
Else, please join the breakout room. You'll see some pop-up. If you are not getting the pop-up, please chat us.
Okay.
Please tell me.
So while we wait for, let's just check how many people we've got. Yeah. Okay. So that's most of the people are going through. And while they're still connecting, we'll shuggle them through to the breakout room.
They're connecting.
Perfect. So I want to ask you a couple of questions because you are a boss, correct? Okay.
You may say that.
Let's say that. I mean, you may feel uncomfortable.
Let's say that.
You may feel uncomfortable with that as a concept, but you are in charge of looking through people's resumes, their CVs. You have to do job interviews, and on occasion you have to read people's cover letters.
Yep.
So it's important, I think, for people to get the perspective of the boss. And so this is something I want to ask you about. When you are looking through people's applications, what do you look for in an application? What are the things that jump out at you that help you make a decision?
Yeah, okay. First of all, I'll look into the experience. So if you are not a fresh graduate, so if you have previous job experience, I will more focus on the job experience. So I will really appreciate the resume or CV or even cover letter that explain more about your impact to the company. So make it more real, make it more tangible. And then, for example, you can say that if you contribute to increase your company's revenue by like 20%, or you reduce customer complaint by 50%, that's gonna be good. And then
could we focus in on that, because that's a very important thing. You talked about experience, but then you went on to say that it's the experience has to be linked to something real and tangible.
Yep.
You mentioned like increasing revenue by a certain number, decreasing complaints by a certain number. So that would be the kind of first thing that you're looking for in a job, is a hard number that you can look at and say, okay, this demonstrates that they will be useful for me. Correct?
Yeah, the main thing is I think it's give me more explanation about what you are capable of. First one, and then I think if you are not really sure about your impact for the company, you can just wrote your day-to-day activities, but in detail. I mean, by details is if instead of you write about okay, supervise the customer service, you can write about okay, so you manage XXX customer service officer, and then in weekly basis, you make like PowerPoint presentation about some information, and then to, for example, C level. So it's more detailed. So it's more, it explains about what you did in daily basis. And for me, it's more helpful. So I think just by read your resume for 1 or 2 minutes, I already have like 60 or 70% about yourself, and then I'll ask the remaining 30% or 40% by the interview.
Right. And so I mean, it's actually, I think, for most people, quite a long time. For most people in HR,
Yeah.
I'm not even sure that they give 2 minutes usually, but 2 minutes is not a lot of time to make an impression. And so when we come to resumes and cover letters, it's, I think, vital that you avoid wasted words, wasted space, putting information that is unnecessary into it.
Yep.
So many people, when they are going through writing a CV or a cover letter, they want to put everything in.
Yep.
They want to put their entire life, and they put it in broad strokes and generalities. And as a boss, that's not what you're looking for. You're looking for specifics, the details, the numbers, the how many people that you dealt with, how many complaints did you deal with, how did you, going back to what you're saying, increase revenue, decrease complaints, make a savings. These are the things that you are looking for
Yeah.
as a boss.
Yeah, and I think I'm in a better position because sometimes the resume or the CV is already pre-filtered by the HR team or the recruiter. So I think most of the uh, cover letter or resume that I get is already quite good. So that's why maybe I can spend much more time to focus on the resume. But I think maybe you should aware that the recruiters or the HR, I think they get like hundreds or thousands of CVs every day. And I think Jamie told me that maybe they just spend 10 or maximum 20 seconds look at the CV, and then if it's not good enough, they will scrap it out because
Yeah.
there are too many CVs, right?
Yeah. I mean, I've having talked to HR managers and that stuff, every job they're going to get a minimum 5,600, anywhere in the range of 600 to about 5,000 applications, and they can't spend a lot of time there. So it's very Tinder-esque. It's okay, fush, fush.
That makes
fush,
it very. That's make cover letter and CV very important because it's gonna be a
Mhm.
big disappointment if you have the capability, if you are really good at what you're doing, but you are unable to put it on your cover letter or CV. It's gonna be a very big disappointment.
Yeah. And I mean, this is probably not something I should say to the boss, but it's not about what your actual ability is. It's about your ability to express your ability. It's about communicating your ability more than actually what your experience is in a lot of terms. I think we've given them enough time to have a chat. Minjot, shall we let them back in and let's hear a little bit about their experiences from the other end? But first, before we do that, let's hide the super secret slide. At which point, let's let people back in and we'll see what we're getting from them. By the way, not Spider, that's an appropriately Halloweened name. I appreciate you guys for being here. For all of those of you who stayed in, shame on you. Shame on all of you. But for those who went out into the breakout room, I appreciate you doing it.
Okay, we are waiting for. I think some of the breakout room session is still going on.
We'll wait a little bit longer for them to start kind of coming back in, because usually people are in a bit of a discussion, so we want to give them space to do it. Some people might ask why you want to put people into breakout rooms. For me personally, it's a very important thing to give people a chance to talk about what they are learning. And this is why we always have, when we have activities like this, we put people into breakout rooms so that they can get to know each other, do a little bit of networking, set things up, and they can have a chance to discuss together what the thing is. I think at this point, we should go beyond there. Let's see if we can, no, we should wait a little bit longer because we're still waiting on a couple of breakout rooms to come back in. I kind of want to, I'm going to ask Spider-Man to unmute themselves on this when they come back out, just because I like their name.
Oh, hello.
Well, hello, Spider-Man.
Hello, Spider-Man.
I am so happy to see that you've joined us and that you're willing to look forward to improving your CV and cover letters in this session. How are the Avengers?
No, because
So could you tell me a little bit about your group? Did you come up with a group name?
no, just myself.
Just yourself. Okay. Well, that's the thing. I want to ask you a question. Do you find writing in English easy? Oh?
Can you repeat again, please?
Do you find writing English easy?
Yeah. Are you comfortable writing in English?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, just writing for cover letter gitu.
Yeah. It's quite a difficult thing to do, isn't it?
Yep.
Yeah, it's kind of scary. There's a lot of grammar, a lot of like that. And I think it's important that everybody knows that this is not an easy task to do.
Yeah.
So I thank you for unmuting at this point. I want to bounce on to a couple of other people at this point. Hello, not Leonardo DiCaprio. Hello, Anna. Hello, not Xander. I think we've got everybody back at this point. We can start to go from there. I'm going to pick on not Zadaya. Hello.
It's Zendaya.
I've mispronounced it before. I'm sorry.
Okay.
And so would you mind telling me, do you find it easy to write in English?
Depends on what kind of writing we're talking about. By that I mean if I were to write some fiction novel, maybe I can do it. Or if I were to write lyrics or poem, yeah, I can also do that. But when it comes to formal writing, that's when I find it challenging because the lexis or the vocabulary in formal setting is sort of different compared to the informal writing. So
Yeah, so the having to shift form is quite difficult. Like informal chatting, creative writing, where you can use the language that you use on WhatsApp, on Facebook, on Instagram, that's easy. But when you have to shift to this formal language that you don't practice every day, that you're not practicing when you're writing on Instagram, it's quite difficult.
yeah, because I feel that formal languages are kind of heavy, like heavier than the informal ones.
Yeah. And why is this? For a lot of people, it's basically because they haven't had a chance to practice it. It's one of the things that most people practice by typing on Instagram or social media. Everybody gets a chance to talk to their friends. They get to see it when they're on social media, but you don't always get a lot of opportunity to see formal language, the language of being professional, which is what people need in order to write a cover letter. So a little bit, this is why we are doing this session right now. So thank you, not Zadaya. Zendaya, is that correct?
Zendaya.
Zendaya. Okay, so
Zendaya. Okay.
I will keep mispronouncing it. I'm sorry.
Sorry.
Thank you, thank you, not Zendaya. Thank you, Spider-Man. We'll proceed with the presentation. So it's important that we think about what a cover letter is. And what is a cover letter for? A lot of mistakes that people make when they're writing cover letters is that they misunderstand what the objective is with them. It's important to reiterate, a cover letter is not a rewrite of your CV. The reason for that is that your CV exists. If your CV has said it, don't say it in your cover letter. Why? Because it's a waste of time. If the information is in the CV, that's enough. If you put useless information in here, you're wasting the boss's time. Next up, is important to realize that this cover letter is not a list of your achievements, personalities, or work habits. It's not really, and again, the next section, it's not about you. That's an important thing to realize. The cover letter is about the company and how you are going to fit into the company letter, into the company's culture. Even though you guys are all wonderful, yes, especially you, Spider-Man, keep up the good work. So from there, what is a cover letter? It's a sales pitch. You are selling yourself to the company. It's a way for you to show that you understand the company. You are selling yourself to the company. If so, you need to understand the company that you're applying to. It's a set of stories that you are using to make yourself stand out by selling yourself to the company. It is also a demonstration of your ability to communicate effectively, which means don't waste space, be clear, be precise. Did I mention it was a sales pitch? It is a sales pitch. You are selling yourself. Language should be strong. It should be definitive. No wishy-washy words like could, might, may. It has to be strong. I can, I will. So let's go on a little bit. If you guys want to take a quick screenshot, you can. You have 20 seconds. We'll go on to the next section. So when writing your cover letter, what should be your focus? When writing a cover letter, you should focus on the requirements of the job linked to the company's objectives. We'll go into the company's objectives later, but it needs to be majority about the job. Oh, we got a Mochi in the corner there. He's very interested in learning about applying for jobs as well. So it's about the job. 60% of everything you write should be about the job linked to the company's objectives. A remaining 30% should be about how you are going to fit in well with the company's culture, how your personality and the company's personality align, go together. And 10% is about showing that you are a nice, clever, hardworking, good person. We'll go into that a little bit more in the future. So again, when you're writing, think 60, 30, 10. Focus on the company's objective and link them to the job. So some of you may be familiar with this slide. If you are, that's great. You can help your team. But for now, I'm going to again put you guys out into the breakout room, and I want you guys to discuss together a couple of questions. First question, and this is always an important question to think about when applying for a job. What is the boss scared of? You need to be thinking like the boss over here. You guys are all wonderful. You are Anne Hathaway, you're brilliant, you're talented, but you need to start thinking like Meryl Streep over here. What is the boss scared of? What is the boss thinking? What does the boss think about in their day-to-day work? How are you going to contribute to their work? Again, it's focusing on what their needs are. And what is the boss, recruiter, HR manager scared about when they are hiring new employees? So this is something that you want to consider. So again, we'll be putting you guys into the breakout room. If I can ask, please control print screen so that you have these questions available, and we will send you out into the breakout rooms shortly. So Minjot, if you don't mind opening the breakout rooms.
Yeah, Minjot will help with the process. So again, guys, if you see pop up in your screen, either it's in your laptop or in your phone, please click join, and then Zoom will redirect you to the breakout room.
Yes. And we've been invited there, so we will let everybody else kind of huddle through. I'll see you in a bit, Maladi, and that's bye for now, and we will catch you guys up in the not too distant future. And I'm going to ask a couple of questions of the boss for the YouTube channel again while we're waiting for everybody to go through. The fun of letting the internet catch up. So while we're waiting for everybody to go through, we had a little bit of a conversation beforehand, and I think you made a very important point that I want to kind of bring out again for people on the YouTube, which is when we were talking beforehand about the 60-30-10 phase, you said something very interesting about the part where I put up the demonstrating that you're clever, hardworking, or nice. Would you mind repeating what you said? Because I think it's very important.
Yeah, so basically, I understand why you put it as 10%. So you meant that it's gonna be less priority compared to the others, right? Because those like kind, hardworking, and everything else is, I think, is a bit hard to measure, especially on the CV or even in an interview process. I think it's a bit hard. You can be really good guy for like 10 minutes, but we don't know actually, right?
Yeah. And I think that that's a very important point to make, that it's very difficult to actually get that kind of information from somebody in the interview or through a CV or through a cover letter. It's very easy to fake, and every boss knows it's easy to fake because every boss has had that experience of thinking, this person is perfect, look at their CV, and then they come to the job and they're lazy, they don't do the information appropriately. So while we're waiting for people to go through, let's give the super secret information to those who are on the WhatsApp. So while people are discussing back, we're going to give them about 5 minutes. And that's if I want to ask you, Freddie Mercury. Sorry, not Freddie Mercury. What annoys you when you receive applications? What are the things that really annoy you?
I think you mentioned about it before. Something that quite annoys me is like unnecessary information. You know, like for example, I also did that on my CV before, and on my cover letter before. My CV was very bad. I put like address and then ages, like my birthday or my photo, and I think it's not necessary, especially right now. I think most of the modern company, we are more looking into the skill set of the candidates, right? So I think it's better to be more straightforward and yeah. What do you think about that?
I agree. I think it's especially in this international world, a lot of people have a difficulty when they're applying for the job being straightforward with their employer. I think that this is a particular issue, I think, for Indonesians. My experience when I've been doing practice interviews with students is that they find it very difficult to be direct and to the point in an interview. I want to ask you a little bit about it because, I mean, you're Indonesian, you've grown up in the Indonesian education system. Why do you think it is that students find it so difficult to give a direct answer to questions? Because this is not just a thing in job interviews. It's a thing also when it comes to when I've given lectures or class to students, especially adult students.
Actually, I'm not sure. Is it uh,
Mhm.
is it the impact of the education or not? But I think on several occasions, I think we tend to give more, we call it basa-basi, right? So
Mhm.
to basa-basi first, and then talk about the background first a lot, and then go to the point to make it smoother, to make it
Right.
smoother to the point. So I think personally, I think it's nice to have, but I think if you basa-basi too much, I think it's gonna be waste of time, because you don't know about your interviewer. Sometimes
Yes.
their cost per minute is like super high, maybe $1,000 per minute.
Yeah. No, quite literally, if you're talking a big important company, the CEO's time, or indeed manager's time, is worth a lot.
Yep.
Every minute that they are in the interview is a minute that they're not doing work, that they're not making money for the company, and that the company is losing money.
Yep.
And so this is an important thing for people to realize when they go to interview, is that you need to be direct at the beginning. You can't be, I'm gonna chat. It's important that, as you say, that they get to the point at the beginning of the interview. They can do chatting, small talk, basuh-basi at the end. That is perfectly fine, because the boss then is able to say, I'm sorry, I have another meeting.
Yep.
We're going to have to cut this short. And it gives people an opportunity to be polite. But at the beginning, if you waste time doing small talk, then you have lost a lot of opportunity to sell yourself, to put yourself forward, to get to the point, to explain to the boss how you are going to make money for the company.
Correct.
Because that's why they're hiring you. They're hiring you for the money.
Yep.
And as if you're not going to make money for the company, then they're going to then they're not going to give you a job. And so that comes the fundamental there. It always has to come down to, I am going to make you money this way, either by doing the job that you're applying for, or in other manners. Which I think is why that point that you made earlier about the details being so important. The details demonstrate how you're going to make money for them. How many people can you interact with in a given time? How many customers can you process? Yes. So I think that's a very important point. So that's one thing. Don't annoy the boss by doing a lot of small talk at the beginning. What else annoys you? Just
Yeah,
from applicants.
like I said before, like unnecessary information. I think yesterday
Mhm.
you made a point about the bias that you can have if you, for example, as simple as gender, age,
Mhm.
maybe religion, or your photo, for example. Uh, it's kind of create a bias,
Mhm.
you're, what do you think?
Absolutely. I mean, again, just from a perspective, if you're applying to an international company, do not put your photo on it, because they cannot accept it. There are legal requirements in Europe and Canada and North America that if there is a photo ID on the application, that they have to get rid of it, because otherwise they could be sued. And that is something to be really aware. Even if you're not applying to that company, why are you sending them a photo?
Yep.
If you are applying to be a supermodel, great, show yourself off to your best thing. But if you're applying to be I don't know, operations manager, a consultant, uh, um, a customer service assistant, your face is not going to sell it to them. And frankly, if you have a beautiful enough face that you think it's a selling point, don't put it on, because it's any company that hires you just because your face is not worth working for. So yeah.
But Jamie, I think there are several job applications, especially here maybe for a position that requires to face the customer a lot, for example, like
Ah,
customer service and everything, they put like one of the requirement is subjectively good looking, maybe.
yeah.
Subjective.
Which
So,
absolutely means if they're asking for it and you're applying for it, then put it in. But if there's no requirement for it,
yeah,
don't
so
put that information in
so
because
the default is don't put any unnecessary
Mhm.
information.
Yeah, which is why I mentioned supermodels. Although I don't think that's a good example for the thing. But as you say, if you are applying for a customer-facing job, then you do it. But why do you do it then? You do it then because you are demonstrating that you understand how the company makes money. The company makes money by having attractive looking service assistants or things of that nature. And this comes down to the fundamental message you want to get across, which is, I know how you make money and I will help you make money. Yeah. Shall we give them, let's give them one more minute. So the things that annoy you are wasting time in interviews and
Small talks.
small talk.
Especially
Is
in the
there
beginning. Yeah, especially
at the beginning?
Yeah.
And can you think of one last thing that annoys you before we bring people back?
One last thing. I don't have it right now. What about you?
You're a very nice person. Well, being late. I would put that down. I haven't done as many interviews as you have, but if they turn up late, it's an automatic no. Turn up early. If you're going for the interview, be there half an hour before, an hour before. Obviously, nobody's traveling by car now, but if you were traveling by car, go there but the day before, find out what it's like.
Yeah, whatever the reason, right? Like
Yeah.
traffic or everything is not the reason.
Yeah, first impressions count. Don't mess it up. Unless there is a hurricane, terrorist attack, or there is an explosion somewhere, a gas leak, the only excuse you have is the kind of stuff that could get you killed. Anything else, bad traffic, bad rain, not an excuse. The boss has 100 other people to interview. They will give the job to someone else if you are late. It's not fair, it's not nice, but it's the reality. All right, Minchot, shall we let people back in? I will hide the super secret information. Let's go back here. And as we're letting people in, the people who are currently in it well, guys, you've got the super secret information. Let's see who's coming back out. We'll give it a little bit longer for everybody to come back out. We'll have a look through things. So I'm going to pick a couple of people at random, but if you don't feel comfortable about doing it, you can always turn on your thing and say no at this point. But I just seen early on here, and I'm going to ask Sarah. Sarah, do you feel comfortable giving an answer from your group? If not, don't worry. You just don't have to turn on your camera.
Sorry,
Hello.
can you repeat? Sorry.
Yeah, I just wanted to say hi. Hi.
Ah.
So did you have a chance to talk in your group about what scares the boss?
Yes, we have.
Okay. Would you mind answering for your group? It's very scary. There's a lot of people here and stuff. I'm quite scared of them. So.
Sorry if my English is not very good.
Oh, no.
First,
I'm sorry, my Bahasa is terrible also.
As I remember, our group answer is what is the boss scared of is about money.
Money. I'm going to point at the boss over. I'm not sure if everybody else is seeing it on the screen, but you saw not Freddie Mercury over here, kind of his eye twitch at that point. I absolutely agree. Money.
Yeah, money.
Yeah.
And let me. I don't really remember. So because okay, if new maybe I ask our leader to talk because I
Sure.
don't really remember.
Sure thing. I mean, you gave the basic you gave the fundamental answer, which is money. That's correct. Who is your leader? May I ask?
Molly,
Multi. Oh, okay.
thank
Hi,
you before.
Multi. We'll volunteer. Thank you for volunteering your leader.
It's actually not me, Jamie. It's Maulid.
Oh, Mullet. Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry, Mullet. You'll have to unmute. Let's see if it will work. If not,
In the bottom left, the unmute button is on the bottom left.
let's see if it will work.
Okay.
Hello.
Hello, Molly.
Hi, Mullet.
Yeah. Okay. As Sarah said, it's about money and losing money. I'm sorry because the discussion are kind of cut, and it's too prolonged. Why we are concluding the boss or the recruiter are scared of losing money because it's time to the first question. The first question are what is the boss scared of, and our group conclusion are because the boss are scared of underqualified job player or job seekers. So when the underqualified job seeker are go to and apply to the company, and when the company accept it and see how they are perform and they perform are too far from the CV and cover letter that they are applied, it's make the company losing the money because the applier or the employee that already got in are didn't work the price in the beginning of the discussion or negotiation.
Perfect. Yep, absolutely. And this is I could not say it better myself. So thank you very much for that answer, Oleg. And thank you, Sarah, for volunteering your leader for this. I appreciate it very much for you guys to answer. But yeah, no, that is a perfect answer. If we go back to the, as you said over here, what is the boss scared of? They're scared of losing money. They're scared that the application is not going to be the same as the reality of the recruiter, of the employee, and that is going to cause them to lose money. And that's it. And so that's the thing you've always got to have in your back of your mind when you're writing an application.
Yeah, because the new employee is an investment, right? So an investment for your
Absolutely.
company. So it's just yeah, like if you invest on some stocks or in a gold or something, you'll expect the money back.
Yeah. Absolutely, and it's important to realize that it's not just wages, it's the taxes on top, it's the office space requirements.
Yep.
It's never just the money that you're giving to
The insurance also, because the company needs to give you insurance, right?
Yeah.
So costs a lot of money.
Absolutely. Insurance, there are so many additional costs on top that every employee is an investment and a bit of a gamble for the company. So it's important that if you are at all scary to the boss is just going to go, nope, no. Which is okay, but this means that we need to work around that. So, oh no, you guys weren't supposed to see this. Let's move on. So, cover letters. I'm currently going to give you a basic layout for a cover letter that you guys can copy. But I want you guys to be aware of that this is a very basic outline, that for most jobs you're going to apply for, you're going to want to adjust this, that you're going to want to cut out aspects of it. But to give you the basics of it, here's the information that you give in the introduction. Try and keep this as short as possible. Because frankly, for the most part, people don't care about your name. They already know the position you're applying for, but it's often required that you put it in. Once you're past that, here is where you want to be focused on. Show you understand the needs of the company and the job. Those two are linked. The job exists to support the company. You need to show that you understand why this exists. You need to explain how you meet the requirements for the job, and to give specific real examples that demonstrate your abilities in regards to that experience. In the closing statement, you want to restate how you will be a strong fit for the company and the job, and remind them that you would like the opportunity to interview. Don't forget to thank them. It's always nice to be thanked. If you're a boss, it's a lonely job. It can be a bit sad. You only ever have to deal with things. So make sure that you're thankful for it. So for you guys, if you want to, you can take a quick screenshot. Oh, we're getting interesting comments in the chat. If you guys have any opinions at this point, you can put them into the chat. We will refer to them later.
Yeah, or if you have any questions, even the audience from YouTube, if you have any questions, just put it on the chat.
Absolutely.
I think Minchot will help us to move the questions from YouTube to Zoom.
Perfect. Yes. Okay, so we've got a basic layout here. Again, over time, you're going to need to adjust this. You're going to need to play around with it, but at least it gives you a basis to start from. And we will go on from this to later on. So quick, if we go back here to the when, where, what, how you demonstrate your abilities, how you make your sentences real and tangible in English is through the use of W questions. When you're answering a question in an interview, a cover letter, or a job, or a CV, you should think in terms of the W questions. When was the experience? Give the year, the month, the time frame. Where was this experience? If we go back to comments earlier, when we were talking about making things real, where was it that you did this number of customer interactions? When was it that you did this? What was the context? Make sure that you're giving information about what the situation around that experience was. And finally, why was this event difficult or demonstrated your abilities? Again, if you guys want to screen print, you can do so. If you want to take a selfie, you can do so right now also. It's up to you. We'll go on to the next section. Oh, also, how do you deal with it? How did you deal with the situation? Sorry, you might need to take another screen print. Right. Now comes the interesting part. Let's move the script over to here so it's more visible for me.
Jamie, I had a quick question, if you don't mind.
Yeah, please go ahead.
If we go back to the previous slide, which was about W question. So this is how we are to write our cover letter. Am I right?
Yeah. Well, this is the way that the process that you follow after. If we go back to here, once you have expressed the experience, you need to make it specific through use of W questions.
So if you were to provide us with an example of how would you articulate or conjugate the sentence with those W questions?
So I have experience, if we're going, say I'm applying for a job that is in customer service. I have experience managing customers in a busy work environment. When was this experience? It was, I'm trying to think the last time. It was 3 years ago when I was working in Scotland for a charity called the Eric Liddell Centre. What was I doing? I was the front desk manager. I was dealing with customers that were coming into the center, wanting to allocate rooms, and I would deal with, on average, about 200 to 300 people every day, managing which rooms that they would go to and managing payments for it. Off the top of my head, I don't remember how much money I dealt with, but it was in about £1,000 every day, if memory serves correct. That was quite quick. We'll go into a bit more how you can construct a sentence like that. But again, if we go back to the question, I have experience dealing with customers. When was that experience? It was 3 years ago, where in Scotland, when I worked for a charity called the Eric Liddell Centre. What was I doing? I was the, what was the context? I was the front desk manager. What was I doing? I was dealing with customers who were coming in and making use of the rooms about the center. And I would deal with about 200 to 300 customers every day, approximately. Yeah, it was about 200. I could even answer, why was this difficult? Why was it difficult? Because the public are a bunch of, I'm not going to say that word, but dealing with a lot of people every day is quite difficult, and it required a lot of patience and a willingness to keep your face straight and not go at little old ladies. Anyway, so that can give you an example.
We have one question here, Jim,
Yes.
from Zakaria. So what about fresh graduate without experience? What is your style with these W questions words?
Everything is experience. I don't want you to answer this. I don't want to pry too deeply, but if you go to the mosque, if you go to church, hey, that's a community. You can get experience there. Help out at your local religious site. Volunteer for something with a charity. It doesn't even have to be out in the world. You could volunteer to be part of a community group here. That
even like a small project, right? You did in college or school. You can also put it on your experience or your extracurricular, for example.
Yeah, right? Extracurriculars activities are great. Do you play football with your friends? You can turn that into experience. Now, you may have to look at the job requirements and think, okay, how can I change what I'm doing right now? Obviously, don't go out and play football with your friends. That's very unsafe at this point. But when it's safe to do so, once the pandemic's over, think how you could turn that into experience that demonstrates your ability to deal with the public. Or if you're online right now, create a support group for people. One of the things I think I would like to do in the future with HRD is to start having community groups where we network and we can all practice introducing ourselves to each other. So right now, this event is experience. Make a couple of contacts in the breakout rooms with people, give your contact details over, meet up again, create a group. That is experience that you can use when you're applying for a job.
And there are some following questions, Jimmy. But
yes,
what about the opposite side? Like, what if you have so many experiences and then of course you need to choose, right?
That's
what is the limit?
That's such a difficult, sorry, no, I do appreciate that that's a difficult situation to be in, but I think every fresh graduate is going, I hate you now when they hear that. But yeah, no, it's also a problem. You then have to go from, okay, I've got all this experience, which three are most appropriate to this job? I always think in terms of free. Can you pick 3 experiences that are most relevant to this job's requirements? Everything I've said is easier to do with a friend. Get a friend to talk it through with you. Don't do this on your own. Look at the job requirements with somebody else. It could be a teacher like myself. It could be a friend that you know from school, because your friends are usually better able to help you identify what of your experience is relevant. Which again, for those of you who are in the Zoom session at the end, let's start making groups so that you guys can kind of come together. You can bring your CVs, your cover letters, and we can just go through them together and start applying them. Shall we go for a couple more questions from the YouTube?
We have 2 questions from YouTube. Okay. Yep. So the first one is like, is it okay to directly mention the company that we worked before in an interview?
I would. Sorry.
Yeah. Maybe you can answer that one.
Yes, yeah, you should. I mean, if it's a direct competitor, then you want to be a little careful. But if it's in a different industry or if it's not directly competing, yes, you should mention it because it makes it more specific. It makes it real. I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's not an issue, right? Yeah, I think it's not an issue because you should put it on your resume also, so we know about your previous company, right? So I think it's not an issue.
Yeah. Attica, please do it. Yeah, mention it as much as possible, because it's good experience, and it's experience that tells the person you're applying to, yes, this person can work, that they can do the thing. So it's really good.
Yeah, and then the second question is how to express
Our best
the
reason.
reason or best reason when applying for a position. Maybe the reason to because
think-
sometimes the recruiter asks about why do you apply for this position.
Well, I think that this is actually going to come up in the next section where we start kind of going for. Okay, so I'm going to stop sharing this screen, and I want everybody who can put up the reaction. So there are a couple of reactions here that you can put up. You can put a clap. You can put a thumbs up. Now, I want, if we can we get everybody to test one reaction or other, or maybe a love heart or something like that? I want to do a quick straw poll. Yay, there we go. We've got a couple of people doing it. Who, if you want to apply for a job because you want to learn, I want you to clap your hands. So clapping hands, simple, is for learning. And if you want to get a job for the money, put a thumbs up. And if it's so thumbs up for money. And last but not least, if it's because you really love the company ideals, put a heart. I'm going to give everybody like 20 seconds to, okay, I'm seeing a thumbs up, heart. Whoa, you guys, I salute you guys. Now, Yusuf, Dewey, and Reza, are you certain? Would you work for this company for free? I don't know. This is a thing. Let's go on to a couple more things. I see another thumbs up, clap. Oh, good for you, not Cherry Seaborn. Not a celebrity. Oh, you guys are dedicated. Things. I still question those who put a clap. I think deep down, most of us want to do it for money. Hey, that's good. Yes, I'm going to put my thumbs up as well. So, yeah, let's be honest about ourselves. Most of us are applying for a job for the money. However, if we say that to the interviewer, let me try and apply for your job at your company, not Freddie Mercury. I'm applying for this job because I really like money. Are you going to give me the job?
I don't think so.
Okay. All right. So
but
we can't.
Depends.
I will give you the job for being honest.
Oh, that's well. You're a very special one. It's all thumbs up on the YouTube as well. Good to hear that. Yeah, I mean, we should all be honest about why we're doing this. We're doing this so that we can have money, so that we can have a nice house, so that that special someone will marry us, and we will have children, and we will, and people will have. Because being poor sucks. Nobody likes being poor. But we can't say that in an interview, and so this is where. Cover letters and interviews slightly override. A little bit now when we're applying for the job, when somebody asks us either an interview or when we write it in cover letter, why we are applying for the job, what we need to tell them is basically what they want to hear, which is that your company is a good company whose values align with mine. The traditional, and it is a little bit bullshit, and it is a little bit kind of everybody knows the truth behind it, but functionally you have to say that the things that the company value, you also value. And how do we know this stuff? Well, in order to know what the company values, you've got to treat the company like your ex on Facebook. You got to go look at them on Facebook. You got to go look up them as if you were ex, peer at their photos, because what you're going to do is you're going to use the language of the company to describe yourself. You're going to use the company language, you're going to steal that language, and you're going to start giving it back to them. Again, I'm sorry, you're going to get a lot of people applying to your company who are going to be speaking a lot of bullshit, not Freddie Mercury, but unfortunately this is the thing. So you need to start spying on the company you're applying for. look at their Facebook page, look at their LinkedIn, their Twitter, their website. You're looking for the for keywords that they're using, keywords and phrases that they're using over and over and over again, and then you're going to give it back to them. You also are looking to understand how that company works, how that company makes money, and how that company views your role within it. The way to do that is to focus on the mission statement, core values, about us page. Let's have a look. Johanna, I like this comment. Yes, why we always feel guilty if we need jobs for money. We should not feel guilty about needing money in the same way that we should not feel guilty about needing to live. And then Malti has an interesting point about morality there. So we're going to go for it. So I'm going to have a look through a couple of people. I want to just get a little bit from the audience. We're going to go and stalk a company. We're going to go look at their Facebook page, their Instagram. We're going to go really follow them up. Walidit, hi, could I ask you to unmute again?
Sure.
Hiya.
Hello.
Now, you were very brave and you answered beforehand, so I'm not going to force you to give an answer to this, but I want you to help me find somebody else who has a cool name on the group, and we're going to ask them to give us the answer.
Okay, sure.
I'm not sure if you can see. So let's go to the second page. We've got not Leonardo DiCaprio, we've got not Stephen Ill, and not Queen Diana. Which of those do you think is the coolest?
How about Queen Diana?
Okay, hello, Queen Diana. Can we check that you, would it be possible for you to unmute? Because I have just one question. Let's see if she's on or not. I'm guessing we're not going to get a response from her, at which point I'll start asking Leonardo DiCaprio if we go from there. Oh, I'm seeing not an imposter. Let's see if we can also get them to unmute for a bit. I know it's very scary for people to do that. Hello? Nope. Okay. I'm sorry, I'm going to ask you a question. Would you mind unmuting again?
Yeah, sure.
Oh, yeah. Thank you. I'm going to throw the question at you. So we have to stalk a company. We're going to have to go look on their Facebook page. We're going to have to look at their Instagram. I, at this point, don't want to be the one to pick it. I don't want to get anybody in trouble. So we're not going to pick a company that's in Indonesia right now. We're going to pick a company that is outside so we can make fun of it. We can be a little bit silly with the with their About Us page. So could I ask you, do you want to go stalk either Subway, Nando's, or Popeye? These are 3 different restaurants.
I think because Indonesian people are more familiar with Popeyes than the Nando's or Subways, we should stalk Popeyes then.
Let's go have a look at Popeye then. Let's. I'm just going to bring up an incognito tab because I don't want, you know, Popeye might find out that we're going after them, and I don't want that to happen. So I also don't want to get tons of advertising for Popeye. So if we want to find, let's put Popeyes in. Hey, it's almost like Google knows that we do it. We've got the website here. Now, even before we've gone into the website itself, hey, we've got the Wikipedia entry over here. So we've got a little bit of information about them that we can start out. Now, what do you think is, if we're looking at this part here, what do you think are useful words that we could start bringing into our cover letter? Do you think?
I think something useful from this are maybe if we are having a experience in restaurant or something similar to service industry, or maybe from the geographical from if we are from Louisiana or from Miami.
Yeah, I like where you're going with that. That's a good part, but I would say that that's secondary. That's later on when we're writing up the chain letter. At this point, we're stalking, and if we're looking at this very short description here, the most important words I'm seeing are multinational chain. We want to copy and paste that into a document because we want to be able to give that back to them. Because in the cover letter, we want to tell them, I want to work for a multinational chain focused on fried chicken and fast food. So we're giving them the language that they're using back to them. But I like what you were saying about customer experience. That's a good point. Let's go into their website now. Now, with most of these service websites, they're going to be offering, this will be a route to their menu. We don't care about their menu. We don't care about their food. We're not here to eat. We're here to get a job. So with a lot of these ones, you want to scroll down to the bottom because this is where important information is going to be. Now, if we're looking for useful language, we've got a number of options here: menu, company, our story, open a Popeyes, careers. Where do you think we should start?
Maybe the first one, absolutely our careers, because we are seeing the opportunity of job from Popeye. But I think our story are important too because we are must knowing how this company is running.
Perfect. So we click on it, and we've got a starting paragraph here. Now, if we're looking at this one, what are the important aspects of this? Probably if we're wanting to look at this sentence here gives us a lot of big useful information. We can start using one small restaurant. That's a good piece of kind of information about them. One big idea, swept the nation. These are useful kind of catchphrases and phrases that you can start to take out, and you can decide that you start to put them into your cover letter. I want to work for a company that swept the nation and is about to sweep the nation of Indonesia again and the world. We can scroll down. We can start to pick out words that they are using. Sell spicy New Orleans style. That's a useful phrase. Is anybody hungry? I'm starting to get a bit hungry now. And you just go through it and you start to figure out phrases and words that you can start to pick out from there. Number 3, quick serve chicken chain based on number of units. I want to work for one of the largest, maybe not number 3, but you say large instead. You scroll through all these things, you get information about it. Again, if we go back down to the beginning, you looked at our story. Let's have a look at company. So we've got a lot of things here. Let's take the first sentence. Can you find any key words here that we could start to bring out? Or key phrases?
The key word or phrases maybe history and culinary tradition. Also, it's beginning to entrepreneur and culinary innovation.
Perfect. Yeah. I want to work for a company with a culinary tradition. I want to work for a company that with an entrepreneurial and culinary innovation aspects. So these are ways that you can start to take out phrases and words that can help you to start writing your cover letter. Uniquely Orleans, just looking down there. Unique and flavorful food. Again, we're getting a lot of these kind of, if you're seeing certain phrases come up again and again and again, you want to start taking that for your cover letter and indeed probably for your CV as well. Don't let it overwhelm the content. You still need to give those numbers, that experience that you mentioned. But these are useful words and phrases that you can take out and slot in to your cover letter. Right. People are saying I'm hungry. Good, not Stephen YL 3000. Yeah, innovation, more than 40 years. That's a good one as well. Good things, you start taking those out and you put them into your cover letter. So guys, let's, this slide is called HRD Bacot, right? Let's do a little bit of Bacot. I want you guys to go and research companies that you think that you might want to work for in the future. I want you to come, I want you to go and find those keywords, phrases that you see in their company profile, their mission statement, and their About Us page. Let's do some research on it. I'm going to give you guys, again, I'm going to pick on you, Maldip. Would you mind unmuting again? One more time.
Sure, okay.
Thank you. How many minutes would you like for this activity?
I think 10 minutes will be enough, or 15 maybe.
I like your thing at that point. Can I unfortunately I have to finish this within the next hour. So can I give you 7 minutes?
Okay.
Okay, so I'm going to give you guys 7 minutes to go away. I'm going to put you, again, we're going to put you into your breakout rooms. I want you to go and research your company that you want to do. Look for those key words, those key phrases that you can steal and that we are later on going to put into a cover letter. You will have 7 minutes to do that. Mindra, if you don't mind flunking people in, thank you very much. And I will see you later. Thank you very much, Maladi. It was a pleasure. And now we wait as people slowly but surely click the buttons to get through. Good luck, guys. We will see you on the other side. You have 7 minutes for this. We'll respond to a couple of the questions that we're getting in the thing in a moment. Let's let everybody go.
In the meantime, I think the audience from YouTube, if you have any questions, please just put it on the chat, on the live chat.
Absolutely. Yeah, we have a couple of other ones. We'll wait until enough people have gone through to the other side. And then we can continue with the other ones. I don't know how often this is a thing for people to kind of do it, but I'm going to, again, our sponsor hopefully in the future will be Strepsils. I'm going to take one for it because my voice is going. Hopefully you guys can still hear me and you're not hearing the clacking. When you cough. Right. Oh, we'll let everybody. Yeah, I think we're almost at the point now where we can start doing the gossip. So draw closer, people on the internet. Get closer, people on YouTube. We're going to do a little bit of gossip once everybody's gone through. Go on, Yusuf. Get into your breakout room. Go on. We will see you on the other side. So we've got a question here from the YouTube. Again, Atik, thank you for the question. Do you support such things as sending cold emails to company leaders? Yes or no? Why? Thank you so much. I'm going to throw this to you, not Freddie Mercury. What is your response when you receive a cold email?
What is cold email, by the way?
Like unsolicited. You've not put up a job advertisement. You've not done anything. You're just sending them an email, even though there's no job.
Okay, I think it depends because sometimes I I am really busy. Even the email from my colleague, I don't answer the email. So so I think it depends, um,
I,
but
I, I would generally say don't do it unless it's a very small company.
yeah, but yeah, I'm not sure because there are like very small chance that they'll reply, right? So if you are really
Absolutely.
passionate about the company, or it's worth to try, I think.
Yeah. I mean, the only thing I would say there is it might be worthwhile cold emailing about an internship if the company is very small. That is, but again, I think that's probably less than 1% chance. Yeah, I think you're looking at a 0.5% chance, and you are more likely to just be blocked by their spam filter than you are to actually get anything out of it.
Yeah. But I think for me personally, is not uh is it it won't make a bad impression for me personally. But
Okay.
I won't respond.
You heard it here. If you want your job, don't send it to
Yeah, I will.
to Stefio.
I rarely respond to this kind of email, but it it doesn't make a bad impression, especially for me.
Mohammed Rio follows up with, is it important to insert our address in the cover letter? I would say no. It's not useful information. The only reason why your address would mean anything is if you were applying to a company abroad from your location. So if you were applying to a company in India while in Indonesia, then maybe give your address. Or if you're applying to a company in Yogyakarta from Jakarta, maybe give your address. But either way, I would say it's not important, and they don't need to know. Am I wrong in that regard, do you think?
No.
No. Yeah, I would say you've got more important things you could put into your cover letter. I don't think you should even add your email into it, because you're going to be sending them the cover letter through email. They already have your email. Like your age, email address, your physical address. These are not important informations for most.
What about
for most people.
phone number? What do you think about phone number?
It might be worthwhile to put the phone number in the CV.
Yeah, because if they are interested, it's easier to contact you with the phone number, right?
Yeah, absolutely. But otherwise, yeah, for cover letter, no. Cover letter is it's always about the company, not about you. It's about how you fit into the company, not the other way around.
Okay, I think one question. What are the words or phrases that we should avoid in writing cover letter?
Thank you for asking. I'm actually going to let's go and have a look at this for a moment. I'm just going to quickly bring up a website. Now, now there obviously don't put swearing into your cover letter. Don't put bad language. I think that's a fairly obvious thing. Words that you should always avoid are, or forms that you should always avoid are contractions like don't. It should be do not, or does not don't. Don't. It should be I am or not I'm. That's more just a professional and a formal situation. I'm is for friends. I am for work colleagues and the boss. So that's one thing that is important to avoid. Now, there is a danger with professional language, though, and that danger is that you overuse it. I want to draw your guys' attention to this website. I like it a lot. This is the corporate BS generator. BS stands for bullshit, which I guess is like bacot a little bit, kind of translates as bacot. And it makes fun of the fact that you can overuse formal language in that situation. using a bit of formal language can be useful. Using 1 or 2 formal phrases is good. But if your sentences come out like this, quickly actualize business to business metrics, it becomes word salad. And if a boss sees that, I mean, you've had to deal with people speaking like that before.
That's pretty good, by the way.
Yeah.
Quickly actualize. That's pretty good.
Yeah, it is. It's what should we call it? It's like a fart through a spider's web. It passes through one ear and straight out the other. If you are in a business meeting, it's quite a good idea to be able to do that kind of creating that kind of corporate bullshit. In the cover letter, do not do that because it's easy to see through. If you're reading it, you can see that what does that actually mean? Just means business to business metrics, business to business numbers. It's if you are overusing business and corporate and professional language, it is very obvious and not very clear.
I think that's related with I think not Adele was asking about when we steal or copy their keywords. Don't they know that we are just copying their words? You know?
Yeah. So so this is the thing, don't abuse it. You take 1 or 2 of the key words and slot it in to show that you are paying attention to what they're doing. They know you've taken where you've got the words. They know those words because they've had to learn it when they first joined the company. The HR manager has drilled in the core values of the company, which you will remember till the day you die.
Yeah, and it shows that you did some research, right?
Yeah, exactly. And if you took the time to do the research, it's more likely that you know.
Yep.
The danger is if we go back to Popeyes, if my application says, I want to work for a company with a 40-year history in culinary tradition and owes its beginning to an entrepreneurial and culinary innovation, they know I've copied and pasted. So don't do that. Take out 1 or 2 key phrases. Don't do corporate BS. Don't synergistically embrace bleeding edge solutions because it doesn't mean anything. They've got 3 more minutes. We can do a little bit more gossip on this point. So sorry, again, this is quite a fun website, corporate BS generator. Go to it, generate a couple of stupid phrases, and then you can slot them in the next time you have a business meeting. But if we, let's go back to the thing here. If we talk a little bit about what is it that you're trying to do in this situation? As you said earlier, Stefia, it is about showing that you've researched. If you've researched it, you're more likely to know how to do the job. If you know how to do the job, you're going to probably do the job better. If you do the job better, you make money. It's about showing that you've done the research. Do we have any other questions from the internet? Anything else that we want to add in? We can give them about 1 more minute before I think we need to call them back. Yep. No. We'll wait for more questions to come in on there, but let's, Minchot, if it's okay, shall we bring people back in and we'll check with them. We'll ask them to put the comments into the chat there. We can go.
I got thumbs up from Minchot.
Oh, good. Welcome back, guys. Let's see. Okay, as we let people come back in, I'm going to pick on the closest one. Hello, not Zendaya. Yeah, I'm mispronouncing it. Can I ask you to unmute? How do you pronounce it again?
Zendaya.
Zendaya. I might need to.
It's
I can
Zen Day.
Zen
Ah,
Di.
Zendaya.
So it's like Zen Princess Diana.
Yeah, right.
Okay, I will try and remember it for the future. So could I check what company have you been researching?
You may laugh at me, but yeah.
Hey, English first, my old homies. Did you get to their core values? Because you're going to put me on the spot here because I have forgotten them.
Well, I read a lot of things about them. But yeah, I looked at their about us and what was it? I can't remember the. I was also looking at the the job opportunities and summer camps, etc. as well. So they offer a lot of different programs for the students. And
that is actually quite good research. You want to know what other jobs the company is looking for, or whatever positions that they're offering, because you want to show that you understand what they are needing to do.
yeah.
So even if you don't necessarily get that job that you're applying for, you can start to talk about what the other jobs are and that that they are applying for. Again, this talk is sponsored by Strepsils.
I've got one too in the fridge.
Oh, good. Yeah, no, they're pretty good once they've been in the fridge, although they get kind of sticky then.
You should really ask for endorsement from them.
I definitely should. We need to ask for money for them. That's it. They.
To be fair, they're not exactly forcing you. Neither do they call you for you to do the endorsement. So I don't think at this point they're entitled.
Oh, that's too bad. I want that sweet Strepsil money. Yeah, so back to the point at hand. So yeah, researching, looking at the company's website is a really important thing to look for those core values, those phrases that you can take out and start applying. If we carry on with the phrase, oh, wait a second, you guys weren't supposed to see that. Whoosh. We now come to the part where I'm sorry, guys, there's going to be a bit of writing. We're going to start now applying this language to it. Now, I'm going to put my hand on heart and say you probably shouldn't send the cover letter with this exact phrasing, but at least this is a starting point for you guys to refine how you're going to write. So you've looked in now at the company. So you can start to say, you can start to slot in those key phrases. Your company needs an applicant who aligns with your entrepreneurial spirit, entrepreneurial and culinary spirit. I have experience making fried chicken. I fried chicken every day. I want you to start now applying that stolen language to the company and applying it to the experience you have. And then you're going to use the W questions to go through it. Again, I'm going to put you guys into the breakout rooms. You can talk to each other. You can practice with each other as much as you want. Going to give you, again, 7 minutes to type up your example using this format. And then, if possible, I'd like you to put it into the chat so that we can have a see. Please put the company name in there. We'll do the same as well. So if I could ask you guys to print screen, make sure that you have a picture there. And Manajot, if you don't mind, could we send people away? Again, you guys will have 7 minutes for this.
Breakout room for 7 minutes.
Again, breakout room. I will join later. And then we will I will continue our discussion from earlier. And the gradual, slow kind of shuffle through that occurs whenever we do a cycle through with these things will continue. But going back to these things, A lot of the problems for people in this situation is that not only are they kind of searching around for words, but they're not entirely certain how to start. And so the process of starting to write a cover letter is probably the most painful aspect of it. So again, much like what we're saying with the with stealing the language, it's perfectly fine to steal somebody else's format and adjust it. But it's important that you make sure that you've changed it enough that it's not easily control-Fable and searchable on the internet where somebody else can find it. Because employers such as yourself can do that very easily.
Yeah. Even I'm not doing that.
You're not that diligent in that regard.
I'm not that picky with applicants.
Fair enough. I think it's important to realize that if you're applying to a university using this format, they will check. Yeah. They will check. But for most employers, if you are taking from somebody else's format, they are not going to go searching for it on the internet, because again, that's at least 30 seconds out of your 2 minutes of going through it. Again, I would say to Chris, who is not from HRD Breakout, if you don't mind, could you give us a little bit more questions from the internet? If anybody on YouTube has any more questions for us, please forward them through to us. While we do that, we will we'll wait for people to get a chance to write up their examples. But
yeah, so I think you're correct that it needs some practice for like cover letter or CV, especially in English. Like probably most of us, English is not our native language, right? So even I'm not really that comfortable with English. So and I'm sure that a lot of people are not comfortable with English, especially, and most of us, even myself, I'm afraid about the grammar, afraid about spelling and everything. Yeah, that's why practice is very, very important.
Yeah. Well, we're coming down to the fundamental kind of message of this lesson, which is if you are going to do something, practice doing it beforehand. Yeah. So if you're applying for a job, practice writing up CVs, practice writing up cover letters, because nobody is born with the ability to pass a job interview. Nobody is born with the ability to write a cover letter. And so the important fundamentals here is that you practice it again and again and again until you become good at it, because nobody is good at the start. When I first started writing English and I was 4 years old, I was not very good at it. Similar with you, when you first started speaking Indonesian, you would have been very bad at it. But the practice that you got over 7, 8, 12, 20 years meant that you became very proficient at Indonesian. And the same is true for English. The more you practice English, the easier it becomes. The less you practice, the more scary it becomes, the more likely you are to make mistakes. And fundamentally, the more terrifying it becomes.
That's why I really understand that English is very, very scary for most Indonesians. And
why is it scary?
You know, because it's not comfortable, and maybe some people we are afraid of making mistakes. That's why I think I encourage. I also make a lot of mistakes, and I think that's why we are here.
Absolutely. But I want to kind of dig a bit deeper into that. Why is making mistakes so difficult or painful for people? Why do people become so pained when they make a mistake?
Yeah. I think it's just the nature of human.
Yeah. So in part, it's the nature of humans. We don't like to be visibly wrong in front of others. But also, I'm going to do a bit of battle here. It is fundamentally also the issue of what have you practiced beforehand? When you were practicing English at high school, at junior school, at middle school, what was your experience like? What happened when when you made a mistake? Did the teacher go, "Hey, that's good, you're trying," or did the teacher go, "You're wrong"?
I can't remember the first one. So it's more like if I make a mistake, yeah, the teacher correct me, but
Yeah.
I don't remember is in a good way or in a bad way. But for me personally, I don't really uncomfortable of making mistakes.
Mhm.
I make a lot of mistakes, and I think for some people, you need to read a lot about growth mindset. So it's
Mhm.
when you know that uncomfortable or afraid is the ones that make you grow
Yeah.
as a human. So I know your nature of human will make you afraid or uncomfortable, but please remember that that kind of situation that makes you growing, makes you growing as a human.
Yeah. If we're talking about growth, growth comes from safety. We only grow when we're allowed to fail, we're allowed to experiment, we're allowed to practice without fear of repercussions. And so much, I mean, this is the case, I think, in the Indonesian education system, but it's also the same in the British education system.
Yep.
Teachers are required by the government to spend a lot of their time telling students, no, you're wrong. And while that may be a necessary thing if you've got a class of 30 people and you need to get through the textbook, it's not a great way to learn. True learning occurs when you can experiment, where you can understand the dynamics at play. At CCT, we think it's very important for people to practice in a safe environment where you're able to make mistakes and it's okay. Make the mistake, make another mistake, but learn why that was a mistake. Don't and so much for people when they are learning, they're in a situation where if they make a mistake, the teacher will immediately go, "No, you're wrong. Stop, go in the other direction." Whereas what they need to hear, and what I think I needed at high school, and I'm sure many people listening needed at high school, was, okay, why didn't that work? Why? Think about it. Why did that not work in that situation? Oh, okay, because of this and this, which gives you a much greater understanding of how things work, how to better apply them, than just going, nope, you're wrong.
Yep.
So this is a vital thing. For learning to occur, you need to feel safe, you need to experiment, you need to practice. And hopefully we can do a little bit of this here, but in the future, the important thing is that you develop these skills, that you do the thing that you did again and again and again until you become perfect at it.
Yep. I agree with that.
At which point, Mincho, shall we let people back in? We will stop with the secret information and we will go back to the beginning here. We'll start people, and once they return, we can develop from there. The fun as people start to come back in. But this is also why we put people off into breakout rooms, is to give people a chance to practice when the teacher is not there. Because it's scary to be asked questions by the teacher. Somebody, a large bully man kind of asking you questions through the screen is quite an intimidating thing for a lot of people. So you want to let people get away, get a chance to practice on their own. Okay, so at this point, people you've had a chance to go away and practice. If possible, can I ask you guys to start putting your comments into the chat at the side? I know for the people on the live stream, it won't be possible for you to see this, but we'll read some of them out as we see. So again, using the format that we have at this side, can we ask you guys to start putting them into the chat there? And we will progress from this point. So Your company needs an applicant who, and then you take the company language and you put it in there.
Yeah, and I think you guys don't need to worry about like grammar or spelling and everything.
I don't
Maybe
care.
just- yeah.
Yeah.
It-
I'm not going to pick on anybody for their grammar in this situation. In the future, if you guys want to go over grammar, we can come up with a couple of sessions on that, but I think we will probably not live stream it because nobody should be required to kind of show their working to the entire internet at any one point. So at which point, while we're waiting for people to go through, again, guys, if you want a print screen, we'll put them into the comments there. Well, a couple of hints and tips for the people watching while you guys are working on putting the information into the into the comments there. Do your cover letter first, because the cover letter is going to force you to do research on the company. And because of that, it's always a good idea to do that before you do your CV, before you prepare for the job interview. Look at the cover letter, think about what language. Get someone to look over your cover letter while you're at it. It's always a good idea when they're reading through it, give them a time limit. You mentioned that you take 2 minutes reading through cover letters and CVs. I would say give the person who's reading it, your friends, your brother, your sister, your parents, give them 1 minute. Then take away the cover letter and get them to tell you what they remembered. This is a really useful way to see what gets through, what doesn't get through. After your friend has had a read, rewrite it, make it better. You want to do this process at least 3 times. You do it over a couple of things. When we're talking about language that is stolen, you want to do a Control F, see how often that you're going to be having that language come up. And because of this, you want to start focusing in on how often it comes up. And if you're using it more than 3 times in the cover letter, then that is too much. Pull it back a little bit, change it to similar words, use the synonyms. So at this point, while we're waiting for the examples to come through, we're just going to bounce through and say thank you to HRD Batshot. You guys are wonderful. We really appreciate you, Minshot. Thank you very much for this opportunity. And I want to give a little while to explain about CCT. If you guys want to take a screenshot, you can. We're a private boutique consultancy. We specialize in providing personalized education programs. We believe that you're not a car. You're not a product to be put through a factory process. You're a human being. And because of this, your needs are different. Each and every one of you has different circumstances, different needs, different situations. And because of this, you require education that is personalized. Most schools, they put you through the system, you will come out the same as everybody else. We don't believe that's right for you. We believe that you need a personalized education that focuses on your needs and your objectives. Also, we're not Ed Sheeran. Just want to repeat that. We do a whole bunch of events across the ways. This is all pre-pandemic stuff. We don't do this anymore, but we do events like this on the internet. And if you want to get in contact with us, I've been told that our telephone number is different. You can get in touch with us through either the email, through contact us at cct@gmail.com, or through this number. These numbers are the numbers that we use for all our events. So if you're interested in following our Instagram, you'll be informed of all our upcoming events in the future. Okay, we're not going to do that. At which point, again, I want to thank HRDB. We'll now go into the final section with just the Zoom participants, where we can work with you guys going through the different, your different sentences within that. So for now, if it's okay, Minchot, we shall end the live stream. Thank you very much for watching, everybody, and hopefully we will see you again in the future.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. And